Ageism can be found everywhere, from Joe Biden to Madonna. Just before President Biden turned 80 in November, he said something I could relate to. He didn't want to say his age aloud. That's how I've felt since I turned 40, which was, to put it mildly, a long time ago. The media in the United States serves as a constant, enthusiastic choir for the nation's youth worship. Being older in this town is not only not for sissies, but can be downright debilitating. Surely, Madonna's desperate obsession had something to do with the plastic surgery she displayed during the Grammys. The singer, who has long been praised for constantly reinventing herself, had done it again, but this time she had rendered herself physically unrecognizable. Her 64-year-old face was strangely smooth, with a shape that was nothing like the material girl of yesteryear. The insults rained down on her. She was ugly, even a monster. Madonna, true to form, retaliated, blasting the world's ageism and misogyny, saying it refuses to celebrate women past the age of 45 and feels the need to punish her if she continues to be strong-willed, hardworking, and adventurous. She isn't alone. Polina Poroskova, a 57-year-old model, recently summarized the negative public reaction to some of her near-nude photos. "Put on your clothes, Grandma. You're pitiful." At the very least, American men will have a few more years of viability. Sean Connery, the late actor, was named People magazine's sexiest man alive at the age of 59. The Red Hot Chili Peppers were honored on a recent episode of CBS's 60 Minutes, despite the fact that several band members are over the age of 60. But, even for men, there are limits, as Biden is reminded on all sides. Based on a factual error in Biden's description of his loan forgiveness policy, conservative Washington Post columnist George Will, 81 himself, recently wrote that the president must be either senile or a pathological liar. The MAGA Republican crowd would have you believe that Biden can't move a muscle, including his lips, without the assistance of his handlers. Even after the president's widely praised State of the Union address, calls for him to step down in 2024 grew louder. For example, my Duke University colleague Frank Bruni wrote in his New York Times newsletter that he reluctantly agreed with Times columnist Michelle Goldberg's plea for Biden not to run for re-election, despite her praise for him as a great president. "By saving us from Trump's second term, Biden very likely saved us from ruin," Bruni wrote. So, we're done with him. That is extremely cold. It's almost cruel. He does, however, argue that Biden should step down. I must disagree. Of course, I wish Biden was 20 years younger. I wish he didn't stumble over his words and occasionally make inexplicable errors. I'm concerned about his mental deterioration and physical frailty. But, for the time being, he appears to be the best bet to avert a potentially disastrous Republican presidency, and his record, while not perfect, is impressive. Celebrities and public officials are not the only targets of ageism. Age discrimination is the last acceptable bias, according to the advocacy group ARP, citing the fact that 35% of the U.S. population is now 50 or older. According to the group, 3 out of every 4 Americans over the age of 45 see ageism as a barrier to finding work, and half of older workers have been forced out of long-term positions. The only solution is to fight back. Knowing that the law is frequently on their side is comforting for workers. It's deciding not to give a damn for Madonna. For Biden and Democratic leaders, re-election is about whether he can do the job and whether he is the best choice to defeat a Republican nominee. Notably, that could be Donald Trump, who will soon turn 77. I like to remember that Margaret Atwood, the author of The Handmaid's Tale, is 83 and still writing brilliantly. Picasso had an acclaimed creative surge before his death at 91, and Bonnie Raitt, 73, not only performed soulfully at the Grammys but also won the award for Song of the Year. Growing older isn't easy in a youth-obsessed America, but it doesn't have to be an excuse to disappear. 2 words of advice for those who would mock their elders: just wait. Margaret Sullivan is a columnist for The Guardian in the United Kingdom who covers media, politics, and culture. We have a small favor to ask of you because you are joining us today from Indonesia. Since we began publishing 200 years ago, tens of millions of people have placed their trust in The Guardian's fearless journalism, turning to us in times of crisis, uncertainty, solidarity, and hope. More than 1.5 million supporters from 180 countries now financially support us, allowing us to remain open to all and fiercely independent. Will you join us in making a difference? The Guardian, unlike many others, has no shareholders and no billionaire owner. Just the determination and passion to deliver high-impact global reporting that is never influenced by commercial or political interests. Such reporting is critical for democracy, fairness, and holding the powerful accountable. And we make it all available for free for anyone to read. We do this because we believe in the equality of information. More people will be able to keep track of the events shaping our world, understand their impact on individuals and communities, and be inspired to take meaningful action. Millions of people can benefit from free, accurate news, regardless of their ability to pay for it. Whether you give a little or a lot, your contribution will keep our reporting going for years to come. Please consider supporting us on a monthly basis starting at $2. It takes less than a minute to set up, and you can be confident that you're making a significant contribution to open, independent journalism every month. Thank you very much.